Complexities turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Complexities turn to ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Death Prophet.
Complexities turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Gyrocopter!
Complexities turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Mirana.
Radiant team pick.
Lone Druid!
Complexities turn to ban.
All right, everybody, welcome
10
back into the Shanghai
seconds
Major
remaining.
American Qualifiers. It is the lower bracket final, but it might as well be the grand
5
final as
seconds
our last
remaining.
series, of course, of the tournament. Complexity Gaming going up against DC here in a best-of-3 series. Who will move on?
Reserve
Who will
time.
make the Shanghai China? All those questions will be answered, of course, after at least 2 games, possibly 3. Of course, we're here on twitch.tv/moonducktv. My name is Mont. Joining me today is Lurkerderp on stats. And of course, we have Purge Gamers. Purge, how are you feeling about this series, and who do you think will move on as we move into this first game?
I'm not entirely sure who's going to make it. I'm going to assume it's going to be DC since they did go through the winner bracket, but it could really go either way. Complexity, I think yesterday they looked a little weaker than they had previous games, but by beating out Friendship, what was it? Shazam. They always change their name so much. By beating out Shazam, they've proven themselves a little bit. They looked really strong in a couple other games, and hopefully for them, they're on their A game, because I think Digital Chaos, despite losing yesterday, is still looking like one of the best teams in the American Qualifier. So I really don't know who's going to win. I think it's going to come down to drafts, execution, and hopefully as little choking as possible.
Yeah, I mean,
10
Archon
seconds
played
remaining.
absolutely outstanding in that best of 3 series, winning it off the back of course, a mid Broodmother,
5
among other
seconds
things, including, I believe, a
remaining.
lone druid coming through from Jo. They've looked so good.
Complexities
They
turn
did
to
move on
ban.
to Shanghai. You mentioned how Digital Chaos have looked really good as well, and of course they did lose, but that gets them, I think, of course, this best of 3 series against Complexity. And, well, Complexity have also looked good too. You look at that last best of 3 they played against Shazam, and I mean, they crushed them. And I think a lot of that
10
had to do with
seconds
the Death
remaining.
Prophet, the Invoker in the first game. They even picked Avenge Carry. I really like Complexity's
5
playstyle. They
seconds
have a lot of
remaining.
different heroes up their sleeves, and we'll have to see how Digital Chaos does with that. If they pick up Lone Druid, Death Prophet, Gyrocopter, and Marana for Complexity Gaming so far in the draft here, Purge.
Complexities
The
turn
only
to
pick here that's a little weird is the Mirana picked up in the first round. I would have assumed that DC would perhaps be banning the heroes that are obviously going to set up with it, like OD for example. Bane was gone in the first round, so
Right.
but they didn't go for that. They went for the Slardar ban and the Bristleback ban. I think they did that because those are heroes that can deal pretty decently with Lone Druid's Bear. Very tanky, have some minus armor, have some slow. Slardar also very good against Death Prophet, lowering her armor a lot. So I think they're more worried about that than they are the Mirana setup, which I think is definitely something that's more advantageous than just worrying about a simple getting killed in the mid lane.
I'm surprised they did ban out the Slaughter and the Swiddleman's Bristleback, but I think also the Void played a pretty critical role in that last series too. I think teams are okay with letting him go because not many teams
10
play him that
seconds
often.
remaining.
They'll see a game of him, occasionally. But how do you feel about
5
Void,
seconds
especially after that
remaining.
last game that Swindle played? Do you think it's
I missed
first
the last
pick?
game, unfortunately, but I think
Reserve time.
he has potential, but I'm not 100% sold on him yet.
All right.
If you do play him in the offlane, just doesn't have any damage, and that's one thing that you're lacking. He's a fairly strong offlaner. He can get levels. He can evade death. And yeah, he can transition into Chronosphere, but his DPS is really limited. And yeah, time dilation or whatever the heck it's called is a really good skill, but I don't know if that sells it in all situations. If you just are looking for a team fighting offlane, sure, Faceless Void is going to be really good. But if you also need some gank potential or some damage potential, Void is not your hero, because
Yes.
Chronosphere cooldown is way too long for to be setting up for lots of ganks.
Well, either way, it won't be Void because they have the Beastmaster already for Complexity, and I imagine that is going to be Swindle's hero played in the off lane. They've already picked up the Gyrocopter, probably for Chessie in that safe lane, which he played in the last game of the series just a little while
10
ago.
seconds
They still need their mid laner, like you talked about. Outworld Devour is pretty common to pick up with Mirana.
5
Digital
seconds
Chaos do not seem
remaining.
to be too scared of that, as we actually just saw in the last game, Death Prophet was picked up for, I believe, Limp, and he
Reserve
crushed
time.
the Ritsu Outworld Devour. However, Ritsu was in the safe lane, so it was more along the lines of he couldn't find farm earlier on. He had to rotate around, and by the time they started fighting, he got crushed. So maybe they're not afraid of the Outworld Devour. Complexity still have a lot of options. The Invoker hasn't been banned out, and of course, Chessie is owned with that recently as well. So there's a lot of really critical, really good mid heroes, but Digital Chaos seem to feel pretty comfortable about whoever they play up against with that Death Prophet purge.
Kind of like Death Prophet a bit better than Invoker right now. She's a little more. I mean, she's a one-dimensional hero, but she's more versatile against what lineups your opponents are playing. So, for example, against the push strat that Complexity is doing, Death Prophet's always going to be valuable, just because you can nuke creep waves, you can counter push, you can split push if you want to, you can go 5-man yourself. Whereas if you have something like an Invoker, you're less able to get farm if there's downtime. So in that way, Death Prophet wins against really, really tanky heroes. Death Prophet is usually a bit better due to having her ability to heal her. She's better against BKB carries because of exorcism. There's a lot of ways that Death Prophet just covers you against a lot of other things. The only thing Death Prophet is worse at is she's not as good at getting evading ganks in the early laning stage. She's a little bit weaker there. So
that's exactly 100% true. As we saw earlier, Ritsu was getting ganked every minute or so from Complexity. They would put an aggressive ward and then juggle. They would roam mid, and they would just go ahead and Magic Missile followed up by a Sunstrike, and Ritsu would die on that Death Prophet. So we'll have to see if if he's a little bit better on it, maybe he could avoid those ganks a little bit easier. That really, actually, I think, won them the game. Ritsu couldn't get his Yules off. He couldn't buy his Yules, in fact, at a timely fashion. He could not get to his level 2 exorcism, and so it crushed them. However, DC now have a couple of good heroes against the ganks. They have the Dazzle for TP in a shallow grave, maybe a Shadow Wave coming out as well. And speaking of TP, Nature's Prophet does that extraordinarily well. He can come in during a team fight, maybe even during a gank. He just get off a couple of right clicks, a Sprout, and use his trance to his advantage. And Bulba is one of the better Nature's Prophet players, maybe even the only Nature's Prophet player in in the NA region, I think, Purge.
Reserve time.
Yeah, at least on a team that actually picks him regularly. Now, a lot of other teams just ignore the hero, but he does have some value. He can do things like snipe hawks and stuff like that. Might be worth it sometimes. He can clear creep waves, he can counter push, and he can also split push very well. But I don't know if this is the best Prophet game. It seems a little iffy to me for a pick, but it does give them really good push potential and a lot of things that can tank up waves. Now, they've got Gyrocopter in defense against that, and Beastmaster as well is pretty good at clearing waves, so
Okay.
I don't quite see the synergy in the Nature's Prophet pick here. It seems a little out of place, but I guess you can do Treants with Shadow Wave nukes. Maybe they'll do dual lanes in that way, but I'm not quite sure why the NP is a pick here.
So you're not sold on this pick, right? And
I'm not, but I'm sure there's easily some deeper level understanding and a reason that they're going for this pick. Maybe they're anticipating Chen dives and Nature's Prophet can TP and back them up with in addition to the Dazzle TP. Maybe that's what they're aiming to do, is by having only one hero that'll support TP, that the Prophet will be TPing manually, obviously, so it doesn't make super long teleports, so they can always have 3 man wherever the gank is coming. Could be something like that, you know?
Here's what I'm thinking for the Furion, and I agree with you. It doesn't have the best energy, but I think they might want to D-push with the Nature's Wrath. You talked about the Crypt Storm already and the Shadow Wave as well. Maybe the Nature's Wrath helps out with that cause in doing so. Even if it gets an Aghanim Scepter, it actually helps a little bit in terms of their push as well. So
yeah, it's definitely good for that, but Chen creeps have so much HP, I'm not sure if that's exactly what they need to survive, but I don't know, we'll see.
And we will indeed, as Complexity will pick up the Tusk as their last pick. Their support Tusk Mirana duo. They have okay lockdown. Actually, wait, no, that's a Tusk.
10 seconds
Wait, what?
remaining.
Mirana mid, perhaps? Maybe Beastmaster mid? I'm trying to figure this out now, Purge.
Support Tusk,
remaining.
Chen support as well. Beastmaster off lane. I guess Mirana is mid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think they've done this before. Maybe I might be wrong about that. I think Chessie did it. I could be wrong. It was one of the brothers, Limp or Chessie. I can't remember, but they definitely picked it up earlier in this tournament. So, unless I'm losing my mind, there's a definite chance of that happening. So.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Mirana mid. I think her base damage did get buffed recently, or stat gain or something. And she can jungle a little faster due to being able to arrow a creep. But I don't know if this is going to justify the super acceleration. The arrow, they can maybe use it to set up onto bear kills. Kind of like ice shards with arrow. I think that's a really good synergy, because if you're ever chasing somebody and you block them off, you can shoot the arrow right after the shards and usually land. And a Winter Wyvern pick.
Wow.
Ooh, that hero's been virtually untouched, but I think they just said, you know what, they've got great disables, they've got great chain stun. Let's just guarantee that we have tons of survivability for our cores. And with Dazzle and Winter Wyvern, they're going to keep that bear alive, and they're going to keep Death Prophet alive.
I have not seen this hero since the last patch, either in pubs or in professional games. He was changed drastically. His ultimate, his Winter's Curse, was nerfed into the ground, among other things. I'm actually going to have to pull up the patch notes, and only 10th pick this patch for Wyvern in a professional game, according to Lurka. So that's it's clearly got some people that enjoy this hero still, but man, I did not see this coming at all, dude.
Yeah, me neither. I actually need to go double check to see exactly what they changed, because I haven't played Winter Wyvern since.
Yeah.
Let me check that out really quick. 1 second.
All right, well, that is the last pick coming out as their secondary support. There is a lot of healing coming through from the Radiant squad, some decent lockdown as well, and not terrible up against maybe some push coming from Complexity. So the game will begin, we'll get underway, and I'm just scrolling all the way down here to the bottom of these freaking patch notes. Let's see what we got going on.
So
He was removed.
Cold Embrace cooldown was severely nerfed for low level. It's 24 seconds at level 1 now instead of 17.
Okay.
The Arctic Burn Slow was a little bit worse at levels 1, 2, and 3. And now the primary and secondary Winter's Curse targets are now immune to all damage from their enemies. So that means that if you Winter's Curse somebody, they're only going to be taking damage from that right click stuff. But the secondary unit's now 50 attack speed bonus, and the AoE's increased by 100. Cooldown got increased overall. The duration got increased by quite a bit, 3.25 seconds at level 1. And if the target dies, then the whole thing stops. So basically, it's good if your allies have a lot of damage. Against a Beastmaster, not terrible, because he's going to be already buffing up opponent's damage. They're going to have a lot of creeps. It could be useful in a lineup like this where their heroes do a lot of damage.
So let me clarify. Winter's Curse now only deals damage from, like, let's see Complexity Z-Freak gets Winter's Curse. Only Complexity can do damage to him, or?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just making sure about that. I wanted to clarify, and I think I'm pretty sure that's very interesting. There is some right click like you talked about.
The battle begins.
I don't know, man. I'm concerned that this is like an experiment, and it might fail for DC, and Complexity might get a free win, but maybe they'll surprise me. And
You know, one thing that I like about it is that their team doesn't have very good team fight abilities. If you have like a Gyrocopter on your team and a Winter Wyvern, it's a little weird, right? Because you're going to be stopping AoE damage. But when
Right.
DC's pretty single target focus with Nature's Prophet, Death Prophet's ulti, Dazzle, Lone Druid, those heroes are mostly about killing one guy at a time. So
Right.
in that way, I think it'll be all right. We'll see how it works out.
so it just gives them a bit more AoE potential in these team fights, and I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it does pan out. We have the safe lane Swindlemelon Beastmaster. There is a mid lane Limp Gyrocopter, which I completely forgot about. The Spirit Siphon, the Arctic Burn. They did nerf it. You can see the damage not doing as much for AY. Still, though, pretty good damage. He actually has to pop up his first Tango that has been pooled.
Same damage. The slow is a little bit less.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I was wondering. I was like, that actually looks pretty good. So,
Yeah, that was good damage. It's like 6% less slow. Not that big of a deal.
yeah. So the early Winter Wyvern roam, and now he's going to head to the jungle. He actually sees Hanskin, who's going to go ahead and jungle up. He's got one stack here with the Wild Wing Ripper, and AY cannot cancel this. The Tornado will continue to go, and Hanskin's actually just going to zone him out with a couple of right clicks.
Well, he's still limiting this farm a lot. He has to move the Tornado left. It's only one camp. AY is going to sit here and just wait because he knows that Hanskin's going to get. Oh, he's going to get full experience for this. This is actually kind of a big mistake from Hanskin. AY gets a free level 2 because he actually went somewhere else instead.
That was kind of strange. I was wondering why he was walking away, but he was going to get started on his next camp here. So
They might get a skill and limp.
Arctic Burn, Limp Spirit, Siphon's going to go as well. He's got the Fairy Fire. One more right click will do the job. Can he get burned down? Yes! AUI 2000 gets it done. And, well, he's already putting it to rest. Winter Wyvern, still pretty good at level 1.
The old roaming Winter Wyvern, similar
Yeah.
to a bounty hunter. And this is just good play from AUI because he knows that if he limits the experience that Chen gets, it makes Chen's ganks weaker. It means his Hand of God comes later. And he's now sapped all this experience from Chen, and he hasn't used it yet to kill the Gyrocopter because he was going to kill him either way there. But it's definitely providing some good benefit on.
Yeah, so AUI already level 2 because of that experience gain coming out from Complexity. Hanskin giving him pretty much a free jungle camp full of experience. Hanskin will rotate bottom. Let's
might
see if
kill
they can find a
Swindle's
kill. Lane, rotate in. We'll keep
He
our
has
eyes here.
Splinter Blast here.
They have
he's so
Sprout, they
dead.
don't. Arctic Burn will probably come out. Splinter Blast will go, and Swindles is done so. He maybe gets his axes off, but he will go down to this last right click. No Fairy Fire, and Bobo will get the kill. Did he even use his salve at the end? I think he did, so now he's even further out of regen. It's a big loss coming out from Swindle.
And the best part about this for DC's lineup is that, like, they've got a Lone Druid and a Dazzle. Like, Lone Druid can solo a lot of lanes due to having the bear there, but putting a Dazzle on top of it, they can easily deal with this tri-lane aggression that Complexity is trying to put out. So they're winning 2 lanes really hard now due to AUI's roam, and AUI's level 3. I can't believe he's so leveled.
Yeah, I mean, we get shocked by this every time that he's such good farm, such good experience, but in this game in particular, he's having a great time. Arctic Burn might fly. They get the bottle off. Here comes the homing missile limp. So War will take some damage here. There's the Spirit Siphon, though, which will heal him
All right,
back
he's
up.
going to die with the creep wave. Here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes. The Splinter Blast will go. They need the Arctic Burn. Maybe not. They can't get there in time, and so that slow will go through. And even with the Boots of Speed, AUI 2000 fine. There's the Haste Rune, and Z-Freak, you're a little too far, but here comes Hanskin. There's the Arctic Burn. The Crimson will go. Yuar's actually out of mana. The TP coming in. Bulba has Sprout. Can he get there in time? He gets it up onto the high ground. Can they bring him down? He does eat his way through. Splinter Blast does not connect. One more right click. It'll be the Crypt Swarm that gets the kill. The early rotations coming up for Complexity, but DC are ready with that TP in from Nature's Prophet.
Haste runes are really good still, turns out, and the Nature's Prophet TP as well. Just it's so dangerous for Complexity to be aggressive now because they're getting so much farther behind.
The
You are
S4
with that
rune,
kill,
if you
man.
will.
Yeah, just that S4 rune, man. He's gonna get top rune now. We'll see if he gets another game-winning rune.
DD. Oh, regen's pretty good too. That's pretty nice. That's even more Crypt Swarm spam. Z-Freak in the String Jungle here might get caught out. He has his Grave though. Arrow misses. They went for the Snowball first. It was almost a good time, but now Chessie might be in trouble. No Entanglement Claws just yet, but look at that Shadow Wave damage of the right click coming through. Chessie has to back away. They're going to zone them out. Back top lane. They're looking for Swindle. They're going to go for a Sprout here momentarily. They're going to get the Arctic Burn up as well. They have this ward here though, so if he walks up a little further, they're going to see AUI. And Swindle's already backing away. Maybe even saw him earlier. Yeah.
Too bad so many trees are gone there. It's gonna be a little harder. Oh, he does deward the ward. Very nicely done there.
Yeah. Well, you don't get the kill, but you get 50 extra gold and a lack of vision complexity. That's pretty nice. And what else we got going on?
Lundred's going to be pretty happy with the lane so far. He's getting good experience. He's able to harass the bottom pretty well. It's really the biggest advantage of Lundred. He just doesn't need mana to be able to do harass or damage. So as long as he's got HP still, and he's not being too threatened to get killed, he can outlane so many heroes due to having so much damage for nothing.
And this is even before he has an Entangling Clause, which he's going to have here momentarily after this creep wave. When he gets that, then you can threaten solo kills if you have another, well, maybe not solo, but maybe you can. There's the first Entangle. First hit Entangle coming out for the Lone Druid player TC. We talked about how he wasn't really known for his Entangles. He gets one right there. Won't get the kill, but still, it's a good side coming out for Digital Chaos.
That's like basically getting 3 right clicks and it does 180 physical damage. So it's a huge amount of damage on your opponents. That's going to burn through the rest of his tangos. And now he's going to be a little bit lower next time he almost dies. You
are getting roamed on here. Hanskin's near that Observer Ward, but he's smoked up. The homing missile will do some damage, and well, the phase boots will come out for the Death Prophet, making her even faster. Hanskin up at the high ground, level 3. He's still waiting on his first item, whether that's boots. He's going to see him. I think that ward will scout him out. No, he's still on the high ground, so I'm pretty sure knows this is happening, but now he'll finally see Hanskin walk back down. They'll ping him out. The 6-minute rune will go for Complexity, and actually they'll get both the Invis as well as that bounty run up at the top rune spot. Okay.
It was nicely done by UR there to realize that there's a really good chance that the arrow would come, and if he does get arrowed there, he could die. So he played that very safe, and it results in him being alive. He doesn't get the bottle charge, but much better than dying.
Swindle goes down in the top lane, or actually he almost went down, rather he TP'd out just in top. I do want to point out, for some reason, there is there's a big issue, I think, with Dota. For some reason, like, this is this triangle on my screen of just like redness, but we'll talk about that later.
It's usually about the open mic, I believe. Oh, TC in trouble bottom. He's not 6. Oh, the OP skill is used. 1437 in trouble as well.
He's got the Crave, I believe. He's going to get arrowed up. No, he will sidestep it. Can he get out in time? He's got a TP. He'll use it. He actually might make it away. 1437 will stay alive. A lot of rotations and a lot of effort, all for naught here. And he'll stay alive.
Man, that roar skill is so good. TC's going to immediately transform, of course, because it gives him an extra 300 HP or so. And, of course, access to the Battle Cry ability. Oh,
here we go, snowball in. He transformed back. He's going to get cold and braced up. And actually, the Savage Roar keeps him alive. He's still in trouble. The Ice Shards, the Ensnare coming through. They actually get the kill with the Nature's Wrath. They're going to find another one on Chessie. He's got the leap away. Spirit Siphon will go. They're going to Crypt Swarm. And the Sprout will give them vision. He's just barely alive. They TP out on the other here, which I believe was Z-Freak. And Chessie will try to TP. They have vision. Do they? Crypt Swarm needs to go. He gets out alive. Oh, they didn't have the mana for the Crypt Swarm. And they did not have the vision with Sprouts up. He somehow makes it away.
Yeah, that was Boba messing up his movement a little bit there. He stopped moving, and he should have been the one to keep running through there, but he didn't go through, and Potom ends up staying alive just barely.
So people have been telling me that I'm a little louder than you. Hopefully I've turned it down a little bit, and it should be good now. Let me know. Lurka and
Cactus. Just hype, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, that's true as well, but my mic's like right next to my mouth, so even if I'm not hype, I'm probably going to be a little bit louder, but I'll try to fiddle with it in the meantime. Swindle will go ahead and pick up the beginnings of a Necro book. No surprise there. He's just a recipe away from a Necro 1. And if you look at the net worth graph, it is still a 3,000 lead for DC this early on. But we'll have to see how the next couple of minutes go, as there's now level 7 on Limp. He has his call down. He even has a double damage rune bottle up. He went for the 3 into homing missile, so no flat cannon, and the deep push is not quite there for him. But I imagine there's going to be a rotation for Complexity somewhere to find a kill. And to stop TC from farming so effectively.
Most likely we'll be aiming towards Lone Druid. I don't know if it'll work out, though. TC is going to spend some time in the jungle here. The only hero that's a little under-leveled on their team is actually Dazzle. But on the other side, Complexity is really under-leveled. Hanskin's at 3 on the Chen and 4 on the Tusk. They will spot some heroes, though. Getting those kills is just so hard. Like, they just Spirit Siphon, and they're going to stop the damage that Chen puts out.
Yeah, and Complexity, I like this play. They were going for a kill, and actually the Treant almost scouted them out. DC still has no idea this is happening. There's really good vision. They did this last game as well, and Bobo looks like he might be in trouble. He's got the bracer. He's got to phase away. He knows it's happening now. He should still be okay. The Ensnare comes through. They're going to try to turn this Limps there as well. They get the Sprout off. Z-Freak in trouble will try to CP out. He actually will make it away. The heal almost reaches down. It was close, but no cigar. Meanwhile, down bottom, Chessie almost goes down to an Entangle, and TC already putting a lot of pressure here in this bottom lane.
Pressure continues. One here is jungling pretty heavily, but
is under
and a good
attack.
spot, but he just doesn't have that much damage. It's just a Mud Golem and a Dark Troll, and Hanskin maybe should just focus more on farming. I mean, he does kind of have to pressure, but he's also getting so stupidly far behind now. If you're only level 3 at 10 minutes on a Chen, you're having a really bad game, and it's because he hasn't gotten kills, and he hasn't just sat and farmed up. They haven't gotten towers either.
That's really surprising.
Really gonna hurt.
Maybe they can get this kill on TC. They have the ensnare, I believe, and he's gonna get caught with it. And they have the Savage Roar, and Swiddle's like, well, I mean, I just can't walk in. Otherwise, I'm gonna get Savage Roar. 1437 is rotated back down to this bottom lane. Meanwhile, top lane, here's the push. The Treants are now out for Bulba. At level 4, they even have the Nature's Wrath up, but it's off cooldown. Moonlight Shadow will go. The wraparound coming in. The arrow will connect, and now he's in some trouble. Might need to get Cold Embrace here. Bulba looks like he will fall. They actually missed the call down. There's going to be the Sprout. Can he TP out? He doesn't have one. No TP scroll available, and they'll lose not only him, but down bottom they lose out 1437 as well. Finally, Complexity are on the board.
He does get the tower, though, so not terrible there for DC, considering how their early game went. DC's going to try to pull this creep wave back. He's got to be careful. It could die here.
Yeah, it looks like it will. The Savage Roar, maybe not. The poison coming up from the boar, and he's got his recall up in one. He should... Yeah, he's going to need to use it, actually. He just resummons instead.
I
think he is going to be defending that tower. He got it.
All right, mid lane, rather. Yuar's going to get his exorcism going. He's actually getting chased down with the homing missile. Here comes the snowball. This might be a kill. He's going to go ahead and buy out. And he'll use the Fairy Fire. It's actually doing a lot of damage to Lit, but if he had a Crypt Storm, we would have killed him probably, but not able to actually find that. And so a couple kills now going to Complexity. They're trading these kills for a couple of towers, though. And look at top already, though. Chessie's already putting some pressure here on this tier 1. And it's actually probably going to get denied. There's a siege creep up, and Bulba should have this deny here on lockdown.
And Winter Wyvern's now up to, what, level 7 at 11 minutes? Been leveling very well. He went Urn, Wand, and a Mana Boots. We'll see if he goes for the Aether Lens. I haven't seen any Winter Wyverns really play that much, but Aether Lens could be pretty good on Winter Wyvern. Overall damage increase. You can increase your Cold Embrace cast range. It's already very, very good. All of his spells actually very good range.
Winter's Curse range is, I think, one of the most important.
Yeah, like that's actually really big, because if somebody's close to a group of creeps or gyros in the area and he can Winter's Curse from safety without having to buy a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff, it's actually massive value for Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see him pick that up next. Maybe he'll just go for like a Force or Blink, depending on the situation of the game. But when you talk about level 7, you looked at Hanskin, you've really said, okay, well, he's not leveling up that well. He's level 5 now. And AUI 2000, I mean, he's roaming. He's not really farming the jungle. Yes, he has Splinter Blast, but dear Lord, is he doing well. I mean, I guess you could compare Hanskin with 1437, but he was a lane support, so...
Yeah. I mean, Winter Wyvern is very, very good at defensively pushing, though. Like, Splinter Blast is by far one of the best AoE spells in the game. It just doesn't hit the thing that you cast it on. But it's 7 seconds, it does 340 damage. That's amazing versus Chen. You can cast like 3 of those and the Chen creeps are dead. And you can do that all within 21 seconds. That's an amazing skill. So it's going to be really hard for Complexity to go for death pushes now. So they just have to divert to ganking, which is what they're aiming for.
And TC might be the one to get caught out here. Savage Roar is available. Snowball will go first. He didn't use it in time. He's going to have to use it. The Walrus Punch will come out, call it out. And there's a big kill coming out. Limp will pick that one up, and that will get him his Sanji. Maybe not more. There's another TP in. Winter's Curse will fly. Look at the damage on the Hanskin. He's going to fall to the Splinter Blast to the right coming through for Complexity. Now there's going to be the Wild Wing trying to do some damage here. They actually have 1437. He's already used his seal. He's got the Grave. He's going to get roared up. There's going to be 2 deaths on their side. But Bulba's still chasing him. The Splinter Blast will not do enough damage. And here comes Promises. The Exorcism will go. They're going to try to find Swindle. He's going to actually get stunned up. And he's in trouble. The Boulder Smash, I think it was the arrow coming through. And they're going to lose 2, but only get 1 out of this. It was just the Chen. And Zephyr will make it away too. There's no Yules up for DC. And a good gank from Complexity that will get them back into this. They're now only 2,000 net worth behind Purge. And they might even actually get this 2-1 tower as well.
Yeah, the Tusk was really the thing that made that gank possible, because as they were approaching the gank, they couldn't just roar him because he brought everybody into the snowball. They're invulnerable to damage and dispels. And then when they get on top of Lone Druid, he has to wait until after the initial stuns end to cast a roar. But they followed it up with a Centaur Stomp, and during that duration, Lone Druid just goes down. So that was the only reason that TC died there. So really nice gank and really nice outplaying there of the rest of DC.
Yeah, and that's going to divert his ratings to a bit longer of a timing now. He's only sitting now at 2,300 gold. Of course, he went for the Iron Talon first, no Midas, which I think is the right build here. But this is something I've noticed. I want to talk about this. Complexity has had really bad laning phases for the past like 4 or 5 games. But they've actually done a really good job with the roaming ganks with the Smoke of Deceits. Their movement is pretty effective. They just are really good at 5-man play. And I think that's going to keep them in this game. And it's going to keep them in every game.
Yeah, I completely agree.
bottom tower
It's actually
is
surprising.
under
They
attack.
they got destroyed by Shazam in laning phase, at least in one game. And
Radiant's middle tower
well,
is under
it will
attack.
take the tier 1 tower mid. 5-man is coming.
I really like the Complexity's movement there. They basically had to zone out the Winter Wyvern because otherwise he was going to blast down everything. So they went past the tier 1 tower because they knew that DC's not going to be ready to teamfight since coL picked a much better teamfight lineup. They moved past, prevent the Wyvern from easily spamming the spells, and they guaranteed the tier 1 tower. They nicely dumped by them.
Top tower
All things
is under
considered,
attack.
Hanskin is going to have his level 6 soon enough, and his mech is actually already done. No arcane boots, but they have that item, whereas DC do not. And we'll have to see if AUI 2000 will build into the mech, or rather, if he'll build into that Aether Lens as we had predicted. But
Yeah, I think Mecha is definitely going to be the way to go. I completely agree with your assessment there. They need to counteract the AoE damage of Complexity. Call down alone is going to cover mech damage, and the AoE is quite rich anyways. Okay, he buys a staff of wizard. Guess
Not
he's
going
going to
for
go for a force staff. Not bad either due to ice shards, for example. If they have our ice shard and TC, if you can force them to the other side, then you keep your carry alive, and that's really all that's going to matter for them. They just need to get the Radiance, and then they're going to be ready to party.
we'll wait and see. As DC continues to split push, Bulba now, of course, getting up to his Aghanim Scepter, 2 components away. And you will see the Necro 3 picked up for Swindles, which is a very good timing, considering how this
That's
game has
great.
gone.
Yeah, 2 and 1 for the safe lane Beastmaster. He's got 4 in aura as well, so he's definitely going to be buffing up his team a lot. Necro 3 is very good against Death Prophet too. She has a lot of mana pool, so draining that and getting the amp damage from that is good. It's very good against Lone Druid as well. You can prevent him from roaring, among other things. So Necro 3 is going to be really good this game.
Moonlight Shadow has been used, and they will not see Complexity. They'll have to move out. Z-Freaks rotating mid. They first thought they were going to be in Roshan. They had an arrow selling through. He's just going to miss the tail of AUI 2000. And now they know. Arctic Burn to get up onto the high ground. Swindle has his roar, but will not be able to chase after AUI 2000. Whereas the top lane is still going to push in. The Exorcism coming through. UR will have to back away. He does have his Yules now. He needs to TP out. He's going to go ahead and silence up, and Swindle will not be able to throw up that roar. The Ice Shards will go, but it won't connect. The arrow is a bit too late. And all the while, space created for DCTC. God, I keep forgetting to do that. He's actually up to his relic now, if he gets it with the bear, which he will send to the secret shop.
So a little bit slow for the Lone Druid, but considering he has been pressured like crazy the last like 5 or 10 minutes, I think this is just fine for his timing. Yeah, you should be finishing your Radiance before 20 minutes. Usually if you're doing really fast, you can do somewhere 16 or 18. So I think his will be decently on time. And again, here comes the aggression from Complexity.
Ooh, that sentry just out of range. Really good ward placement here at this bottom rune spot. And they'll see that they're in the Roche pit now. They'll have to make a decision. Do we fight this without Radiance? Do we fight this without our Exorcism, which is up in 83? Or do we split push? And Aegis could change the game. Again, remember how much that percentage is when you get the first Roche. 70-some-odd% coming out.
He gets
First
worried, he's dead.
Uh-oh.
AY had to ult there. He was going to die if he didn't, so it made
That
it
was
seem
no way
like
they
a
burst
waste,
now,
but...
they-
I mean, they weren't going to fight anyways, I don't
Okay.
think. They don't have the team fight. They just need to farm the Lone Druid. Yeah, the Complexity might get an Aegis, but they have decent counter push with Prophet, with the
Dire's
Death
top
Prophet,
tower
and with
has
Winter
fallen.
Wyvern. They can slow these pushes enough to keep the game in a decent place where by the time they get Radiance, they're not going to be defending their high ground.
Aegis will be picked up for Limp. He'll be working towards his Sanji Yasha, and he's not that far off. He will pick up the Band of Elven Skin and get closer with the Blade of Alacrity, and of course the recipe still needed. Top lane, Bulba is just about at his Ags, and that's going to make this game a little harder for Complexity. The split push will come. The greater treants are very annoying. Does it increase the damage? I don't think it does anymore. Hold on, let me check.
It does, because it gets 2 more bounces.
I see, yes.
So.
You're right, it does. Okay.
But with more bounces, and it also starts at a higher number. It starts at 210 versus 180, so that'll also max the damage out. This is actually insane farm. Boba is farmed incredibly fast. This alone is going to make the game stupidly hard for Complexity to finish, just because of the treants that are now we're going to spawn across the entire map. The split push of it as well. If Lone Druid just goes to a random lane, he can split push it, or Crobolus can do that, or even Dazzle can push that lane. So the fact that Boba got this item looks amazing for DC viewers.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard enough to deal with, as you mentioned. If you get this, it's a pretty good time. It just makes the game hard. And if you're ahead, this is like, okay, well, he's got a negative scepter now. We have to deal with that. I mean, it's gonna suck, but we can still try to push high ground. Now that DC are ahead, they've been ahead for pretty much the entire game. This is going to be very frustrating for Complexity. I don't imagine them being able to push into the high ground anytime soon. They still have the tier 2 towers on DC side as well. All-time, Bulba has 37 matches on this hero, 56.8% win rate, so he's pretty good.
Keep in mind, it's not necessarily all-time, it just means all-time since that Dota existed, because Bulba's been playing this hero a lot in Dota 1, and in my opinion, in Dota 2, there's been some periods where Nature's Prophet was strong, but it hasn't been an insane amount of time like some of the other top heroes. So his number may look low, but he really is one of the most well-known Nature's Prophet players.
Theban is going to get caught in. He can't go through that little crack here in the ice shard, so he'll himself up. He's got the Grave, and they might actually turn on this. They're going to back. There's going to be the Moonlight Shadow. They do have a Sentry Ward on the deck. They'll continue to chase. He's actually just out of range of vision, and Z-Freak will ice shard his way in, and so Extra Sim is used for nothing. Well, maybe the exception of getting this Ancient stack, which is pretty nice, but still.
I think Death Prophet's building with this Ogre Club BKB or something?
I would not be surprised to see a BKB against all the magical damage that Complexity have.
Basically has to be. It's either a Dragonlance, a BKB, a Sange, or an Egg, since she can't get it. So most likely BKB, yeah. At the very least, she can stop the Gyro damage. Gyro does do a lot of damage to her, so if she can limit the Rocket Barrage, she can easily kill Gyro in a 1v1, I think.
Complexity will push into this top tier 2 tower. The Age is still on limp, and I like this. They're actually putting a lot of pressure here. They have the Chen army. Nature's Wrath is up in 3. That might stop the push to a certain extent. The Splinter Blast will go first.
Save, I guess.
And they'll glyph it up, and it looks like they will.
The tower's like dead already, you know.
Yeah, they're not gonna
He'd rather save it for a team fight, I think.
All right.
If they do continue pushing, it's gonna be a lot more useful to have it there.
Well, they're not going to. Limp's going to go ahead and TP back, I believe, towards this Spirit Bear, who's going to Savage Roar away. He actually has recall in 1. No, Limp gets the right click off, and it should fall. No, he can't catch it. He won't get that
Radiance.
300 gold going away.
That Radiance miss. So I think DC is in a pretty stable area right now. They still have to worry about ganks and things like that, and maybe Dazzle's a little underfarmed, but once they get BKB on Death Prophet, I think they're completely set here.
Uh-oh, Z-Freak and Hansky, and they've stayed around. 1437 might get caught again. He'll back away. He should have vision. The Ice Shards will come through, will not connect. I have to know that this is happening. AUI is going to go ahead and TP out. Bulba will TP in. He actually might need to leave. He has no way of getting out, but look at rotating it. It's going to be Yawar. He might be in trouble. He has no action system. He's going to get Test of Faith. He'll try to just haste away. The silence will come through. He's got a bottle back up as well. Z-Freak actually backed out. He was afraid of him, and rightfully so. Had he had exorcism, that would have been scary as all hell, but they'll just go ahead and split push TP out. They'll actually take the creep wave with these Chen creeps. That's pretty funny. Yeah, get him, Hellbear Smasher.
Both teams are just more worried about their opponents pushing them in, especially for DC right now. They just need to get a little bit of armor on their bear, maybe some work on the AC components, and then they're going to be ready to fight once that BKB is up. So it may have looked really aggressive what Bulba did, but he did that in an attempt to basically delay Complexity of even being able to threaten. So Complexity goes back top, pushing again. They need to get the wave out, and Bulba didn't need to use his ult for that. So really nicely done by him.
They will build a Desolator coming up from the Mirana, so if you're worried about push, armor reduction, taking down those towers faster, always nice to have. So there's that. And Chesney actually, at the end of the game, when he played you were casting this too, he played the Miranda last time around. We were concerned about his damage earlier on, but when he got that Desolator and the rest of his team was firing on all cylinders, he did okay in terms of actual life.
It's really good against tanky units, and the perfect example in this game is Death Prophet, and Lone Druid as well. Desolator's a really good item to pick up in this game. His range is really high at 630, and he can always leap if he gets into a little bit of danger. So while his hero may seem a little bit limited, it's really going to pay off when it comes to fighting those tanky core heroes that are now going to have to buy some armor to deal with that.
And so it's he's close to it. I think he actually has the second Mithril. He actually has the full Desolator now done in 23 minutes in. Well, he should. He, of course, was in the safe lane farming. He did go for a drum. Or actually, he was in the off lane, putting some aggression onto DC. Boba went ahead and threw that Wrath of Nature up towards that top lane, and they were pushing in. They were looking for maybe another little bit of map control, but as soon as they got here, then Nature's Wrath went off, and boom. They lost their creep wave pretty quickly and actually almost killed Swindle on that Beastmaster. Speaking of Swindle, what does he have now? He's got his bots, no Blink Dagger yet, but he might go for that next. And he's having a great time. He's actually 4th in net worth, just behind the Jar Lone Druid and the Nature's Prophet. He had a great game. He actually got a lot of farm up in the safe lane.
The Boots of Travel is a little confusing to me, but I'm guessing the point is that they're having trouble killing DC, so with his BOTs he can TP to creeps, which is what he's doing top lane.
Yeah, they're going to go for this. Boba's going to get roared up. There's the Necro 3. He's in trouble. The Moonlight Shadow goes as well. The Snowball, and Boba will fall. Does not buy before he dies, and that's a pretty great gank going the way. That's going to be him without the Wrath of Nature for 44 seconds. This might be the time they're looking for. Meanwhile, in the tree line, TC's going to get ganked bottom lane by Limp, who's got the Invis Rune. Looking for a Rocket Barrage. Call down could go as well. He's in some trouble. He needs a rotation. He needs help, and DC are sort of around, but they're not quite there yet.
They have to get them Miranda there. Oh, they're shooting the arrow?
The arrow will hit.
Oh, they got him.
Yeah, the TP was a bit too late. Savage War might go. The call down, the rocket barrage. It actually doesn't hit onto Limp, and that's another gank going the way of Complexity. Their map movement has been absolutely outstanding these past couple of minutes.
Pretty crazy. He actually did have to shoot that arrow exactly when he did, and there was a chance that TC juked to a different spot to TP, and then they would have just lost that kill entirely. So really nice play by Chesty there to go for the leap arrow, and it worked out, and they get 2 kills on DC now. They are bringing the ganks, man.
Yeah, and with those 2 kills, they now have a net worth advantage of about 1,000 or so, and they'll pick up the BKB as those ganks occur, with Limp, of course, having that pretty soon. Speaking of BKBs, they get one for the Crobulus. The Death Prophet will pick that up for himself, and that is pretty good. Maybe they can fight with this now, but they have to time their Exorcism right. They cannot afford Complexity to get out again with the Exorcism up with an Ice Shard or a Snowball or Moonlight Shadow. They could use a gem for one of these heroes. AUI 2000 is more than enough, but he's sitting at 1,500, waiting for another item. Down bottom, Z-Freak. Sprinter Blast will go. That actually was scary. I was like, wow, the Snowball range is really that big, but no. It's just going to go ahead and kill some creeps, and Complexity are now looking for their second outer tower of the game.
Oh, this arrow?
That's great. They actually know it hit somebody.
He's invis, so.
They see, I think they saw a coL embraced hero, but they didn't actually see who was inside of it.
Not sure if you can see coL embrace if they're invis.
Well, they do the smart thing and pick up though, which I think is nice.
Pretty big arrow. They were totally ready to fight there.
Yeah.
Vlad's picked up on Lone Druid, though. That's going to counteract that Desolator pretty well, actually. Really value item this game, in my opinion. It's going to help keep that Death Prophet alive, and that's really what they need. Death Prophet, again, had to go for BKB due to the magic nukes. But Lone Druid buying the Vlads is like giving the Death Prophet some free armor here. It's really going to pay off.
Uh-oh, AUI, the Sentry Ward is there. He's going to get roared up, but he does force down to the low ground. Here comes the Savage Roar as well. They're going to pop up the Moonlight Shadow. The Ice Shards will block it. A couple. TC can't make it through. And promises UR does have that Exorcism going. Swindle going to get sprouted out as well. They get the Spirit Siphon. They're going to lose at least 1 here. Maybe 2. Bulba's actually into trouble. They have the Winter's Curse flying through, and Z-Freak taking a lot of damage. And it looks like they're both going to fall. They'll take down 2. They do get the arrow onto the bear, but that's not what they're looking for. They get the TP out. That'll be into Hodgkin. Finally, a fight that goes DC's way at 26 minutes. And if only they were so lucky to get the Roche respawn, they'd be very happy.
And honestly, that was. Will they get another one?
No, they thought about it.
Oh, they're gonna. I think they're gonna get Limp.
They keep stopping these TPs. Arrow's gonna come through. It's gonna hit them to AUI. No Arctic Burn. Now they're gonna just have to focus on pushing.
Maybe NP would run out of mana. Didn't have mana at the time or something. That was a bit of a lucky fight there for DC though, because just as AUI got the last attack on the ward, he knew that they would come, and he instantly turned and forced test. So he didn't react to the Beastmaster, but he just did it perfectly. He went to the low ground and he wasted the roar, which is a perfect time for DC to fight. So a little bit of luck there, but it worked out really nice for DC, and it was just a little bit of anticipation play from AUI to say they're gonna go on me if I don't, as soon as I kill the sword, so I need to get back.
He was very slippery with that Force Staff. He'll use it again, this time to TP away, and they'll get the 2/2 tower for essentially nothing. The arrow's going to come out and will not connect. Now the Blink Dagger comes up from AUI, and he says, screw Aether Lens. I just want to blink and be right up there in a team fight. He's got that now.
Can save allies a little bit better with cold embrace as well. So, and Winter's Curse now is going to last for 4 seconds at level 16. It lasts for 4.75 seconds. That alone, just catching the backline of them and stunning them all for that much time, it kind of turns the ability into a bit of a black hole kind of ability. I wonder how DC feels about Winter Wyvern, because looking at him now, he looks about the same as before. It's just he's not as abusable for using your ultimate for damage. It's more like for using allies damage. It's pretty much just like an AoE disruption in some ways, and it can give you some solo kills.
I don't know, man. You get a couple of. I think it works with summon units, right? If you Winter's Curse, it should work with summon units like a Necro. If the Necro is up, there is a good chance that it's going to kill somebody. It's killed somebody every time he's used it so far, with the exception of that one that he needed to use defensively. The Treant's going to come through. They have the Desolator. Will they fight this? Exorcism is back up and ready to go. They're going to go ahead and kill this Observer Ward. Roche is going to die by the time they get there, more than likely. So the Moonlight Shadow, and it looks like this should be their Aegis, with Limp picking it up yet again. If he gets the deny up, no. They almost Savage Roar. That was pretty impressive, but instead he's actually going to lose this bear.
It's going to die now.
Yep, for sure.
Pretty big mistake.
All right. Oh, Octarine for Boba coming out next. Let me just use this Nature's Wrath like 45 seconds at a time, just off cooldown.
Well, we'll see what he does to the bear next. Does he go rate, or does he go Hyperstone, or does he get a plate mail? I think he needs a plate mail to there being that Desolator on the Marana, but we'll see.
He has
And he
resummoned it.
picks up the... Okay, will be a plate mill. Their survivability is more important than their DPS. Their damage is good on DC right now. They've got it from the Death Prophet ult. The Radiance Burn alone right now is still very good. Just gotta focus on... Wow, he's got Octarine already.
Oh, yeah.
Boba is actually farming so stupidly fast this game.
He's actually only
the
a little
highest
ways
net
ahead
worth.
of Limp. Yeah, just by a little bit though. Limp's right behind him, right on his
That's
ass.
incredible.
They're gonna
It's gonna make the game so hard for Complexity.
Second to last outer tower will be taken down. Bulba continues to split push both mid and at the top lane. The Octarine, as you talked about, has been picked up. The cooldown is now 56.2, and it is that 45-second cooldown I talked about with level 3 ult, which he's not quite close to yet, but he'll get there.
I mean, his ability to split push is just amazing right now. And once he gets down to lower levels of Sprout, he needs one more skill point, and he can do a almost permanent Sprout. It lasts for 6 seconds, so there's a little bit of downtime with recasting it, but he's going to be able to just perma-Sprout heroes like Gyrocopter. At some point in the game, he can just Sprout them and say, oh, all right, you're in there. Well, nobody cuts you out, and keep them away from his allies and as another way to keep his allies defended.
So he does have that Ags and then the Octarine core that makes him big here. It doesn't give him the best right click. What do you think about DC's late game? I'm still thinking it's going to be very scary with the Lone Druid and with the Death Prophet probably getting Octarine core at some point, but how do you feel about it against Complexity's lineup if we get to maybe, say, 50, 60 minutes on?
Hypothetically, in a really late game scenario, Complexity's lineup is better due to them having more or less 4 heroes that can scale pretty well in useful ways. But with Z-Freak going what it looks like utility Tusk, he probably will just continue to be utility Tusk, like Medallion, maybe Solar Crest, Lotus Orb, things like that.
Right,
They're not going to help Tusk scale that amazingly, so I won't really count him in that case. Lone Druid does get very, very strong late game, and in some ways Complexity doesn't have the best heroes to deal with a Lone Druid Bear.
They do now.
We'll see if they kill him here.
And they're going to kill him, I think, for sure. He does have his Savage Warrior. He's going to get Ice Sharded up, and this right click from Chessie is just super fast. They're going to roar it up. They're going to try to fight it down. They have the recall of the bear if they need it. There's going to be the call down. It'll hit up on the 1437. He might have to grave himself in TP. Hawk will see him as well. There's the Exorcism now going in the backside. They're going to go into Swindles. He's in trouble. That Spirit Cypher, they're going to try to set him home, and they will get it done. 1437, no. The Eels comes out perfectly, and Swindles is now definitely in trouble. There's the Hand of God. Can they chase him down that bear? They're looking for that Radiance Spur. Will get the block in, and the Boba will find the right click. No, the snowball comes in, but Boba should still get this kill. The blink out. He stays alive. They haven't lost anybody yet. Now the Winter's Curse going. Hans get in trouble, but looks like you are about to go down. Chessie's click is there, and this fight is going really well for Complexity. They almost lost at least Swindle, but now they're going to get 3. It looks like a DC on the run. This is a huge fight coming out from Complexity. Bulba's about to fall. He doesn't have buyback. It'll go down to Limp, getting that last right click. What a turn coming through.
I just can't believe that they kept him alive. I thought he was going to die for sure. Swindles, that is, but he got kept alive. Great Yule's play there coming out of Yawar, but it just wasn't enough. They got worked down on the back line and didn't see that much out of the Winter Wyvern. It's probably because they had to chase so far. Usually when there's a chase like that, fights get very segmented. And Gyro didn't even die, by the way. He didn't use his BKB, he used his Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, look how low everyone's getting, though. Complexity should have to back off now. Arrow's going to hit up onto the bear. Nicely done. The Manta now done for Chessie. His attack speed is real. And that just turns things so suddenly. The tier 3 now gone, and that fight will give them a 7,500 net worth advantage. The first team to win a fight at that point in the game was going to get that gold, and it's going to go the way of Complexity. And now they have top 3 in net worth. Bubble will go down. They can't get these kills. They're so close, but the tanking is coming out from the Chen. Obviously, the Snowball save, the Moonlight Shadow, everything going their way. And Complexity, they've got their foot on the gas now.
Yeah, they need to keep their fight a lot more tight. I still think DC played that correctly. Like, it was clear that Complexity was overreaching a little bit because they did use Roar on the bear, and the bear had a resummon, but they just couldn't get that kill. They don't have that much lockdown, really, especially with Prophet going for his Ags Octarine. He is not as useful as most Nature's Prophets will be at this point. He's very good at split pushing. He's good at doing some team fight damage, but until he hits 16, he's still a bit limited. He's got all this gold, and it just doesn't pay off hard enough. And if they had a Hex or something like that, you would have seen a Dead Beastmaster, and they would have stuck together and covered each other a bit more, I'm sure.
There's going to be an arrow coming through. Somehow Complexity just have great game sense. There's no wards that saw them smoke up, and they back up anyways.
He almost found Swindles just now.
Swindles will get out. This lane not getting pushed in mid is a little bit disconcerting. I think that's what made Complexity think twice about, trying to go into their jungle or into the bottom lane. They'll actually get the TP out. All right, so DC now, they still have nowhere near the Octarine core for Yawar. He's not got his level 3 ult yet, and that damage is so much more real. That arrow should have connected on Bulba, but it just narrowly misses as he sidesteps it to the right. And they're getting pushed top lane, but Complexity looking to defend this tier 2 tower. There is the Exorcism up. They don't have the Nature's Wrath anymore. It's down for 35. The Sprout will go, the trades will get made, and they're going to try to at least maybe take this tier 2 tower down or need some damage onto it. It's going to come through. It's going to hit onto nobody. Wow, they sidestep it yet again. And they get this tower. They're going to get it denied by Limp.
Okay. Oh,
They're going to get the winner's curse.
That's
The Swindle will fall. And now they have to back away. The Exorcism is gone. It's underneath the tier 3 tower. This is bad for Complexity. They still have that. No, the Aegis is gone as well. The call down will stop this push, at least for the time being. They should have the Nature's Wrath too. Exorcism damage going to work. They'll grab the kill, and Gyro is just going to work. They'll find Yawar again. And this damage coming up from Chessie is ridiculous. TC is going to get forced out, but this fight is not going their way. The Roar will come through. The Savage Roar does not do enough work, and they'll lose 4. And suddenly, Complexity, I thought that was bad, but dear Lord, they owned.
How did they kill DP so fast there? She was just dead.
She has no armor, I think, and
they got
right
the
click is real.
Beastmaster kill, and it just looked so one-sided. They're like, wow, they got that amazing Winter Wyvern kill with just a Winter Wyvern ult, and everything looked great, but man, they all just fell so fast there. The bear got out of position. Death Prophet was a little bit too far up. She did use her ultimate there, but she just died instantly. I think she even had her BKB up.
I think you're right. She used it. She did use it, and it just did not go well. They have buybacks on all 3 heroes that are dead, but I think they're just going to let this Rax go. Dear Lord. Complexity turned this around rather quickly.
Beastmaster synergy, man.
Yeah, the
Beast.
Beast.
87.5.
Swindle has just owned, I think, this tournament in general. All of his offlane heroes have been doing so well, and the attack speed coming out with the Inner Beast, and they'll lose a tier 3 tower. They'll back away. Complexity more than happy with that trade, and now this game gets super difficult. I feel like Yawar is more of an anchor than he is an exceptional hero now on the Death Prophet. I think Complexity have found a way to deal with him, even not just through ganking, but like just kiting and Tusk.
Well, one thing I want to know is where was the Dazzle in that last fight? I didn't see the engagement at the start, but apparently Death Prophet just died so fast that he didn't get the grave off. Like, imagine if there was a grave in some of these fights. Prophet can come back from being at no HP now by having Spirit Siphon. Obviously, it's not an amazing skill to get your HP up when you have no armor and you're taking tons of DPS, but if he's able to stay alive for at least 5 seconds, DC has a much better chance of turning that fight around. They need the Dazzle to provide some value, because as of yet, Dazzle has done almost nothing this game.
Yeah, it does feel like they are playing 4 versus 5. I want to agree with you there. He has a medallion, he has treads, he's just trying to stay alive. He has his level 2 weave now, but his net worth is vastly inferior to that of Complexities, and his level, well, he's 2 behind that of Hanskin. So
it's okay. I think it's okay that he's behind. He just needs to make sure that he graves somebody, and he needs to keep the medallion on either the bear or Yawar, because those are the heroes that are getting the units and heroes that are getting killed too fast. Weave is especially important. I doubt they even weaved as they went high ground. They probably killed the Beastmaster and said, all right, no problem, we killed Beastmaster, this is an easy push now. But instantly, boom, Yawar dies and everything looks scary again. But they should still approach high ground with weave. 10 armor is going to make all the difference in these team fights.
And, well, TC's going to get caught. Roar. Ooh, Savage Roar actually gets out, but now TC's caught with the Ice Shards. There's going to be the call down, and he is in a lot of trouble. The arrow's going to go through. They actually have to pull the brace off. They will. The Exorcism will go. Limp's actually doing so much damage. Yawar is in trouble. Do they have the grave? They'll pop the Ewells. TC will fall, and this BKB from Limp is doing work. They get the winner's curse off. Will it be enough? Limp's in trouble. Will he go down? He's healing up with the Spirit Siphon. No! He'll go down, but they do get Limp at the very least, but they've lost their Exorcism. They're going to lose Bulba as well. 3 dead in Complexity, looking to end this game right now. Demon will get off the grave, but he'll try to TP out. It looks like he will not make it away. Another Roar comes through. Actually, there was the first one, buyback. And I mean, this is just, it's not going to work out. It looks like they'll buy back up on the Death Prophet. She has her Crypt Swarm. No more Exorcism. Complexity will take yet another Rax. The Splinter Blast will not go. It's the Archer's Burn first and foremost. They have no more Winter's Curse. They might back away. They really want this Rax, but they're not going to die over it. In Complexity, they know exactly when to leave. They're going to leap away, pop up the Guardian Greaves. No chasing coming out from Digital Chaos. And another Rax is taken.
I don't even think they're playing 4v5. I feel like they're playing 3v5. That's what this game feels like right now. Like, Nature's Prophet doesn't do anything either. He's got all the farm in the game on his team, but he's got 2 items that make his Wrath of Nature better. That's it. That's all he does in a fight. Sprout's not going to do that much. There's all these creeps and things. Guy needs like a Maelstrom or something. I think the Octarine Core was a mistake. The Ags is okay, but the Octarine Core is a 6,000 gold item that's literally making his ultimate like a 15-second faster cooldown, and I don't think that's what they need. They need some team fight or something, and a Maelstrom at least would do some AoE damage, or a sheep, or something like that.
I'm okay with the Octarine Core pickup if he gets the level 3 ultimate earlier. He's still not there yet. He's maybe going to die as they're keeping in the Beastmaster. Bulba is going to get jumped on. The Roar will go. He does have the Sprout up. They actually should have Vision. They'll eat their way through, and Bulba, he's going to get Cold Embrace. There still isn't an Arctic or Winter's Curse, but they have it on 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
If they can get Swindle here, they're going to Sprout him up. He's going to get Hands of God, and now he is in a lot of trouble. They'll finally find a pick that they can work with. He's down for 98. But that is still a 20,000 net worth lead that really, I mean, Complexity, they just don't give a damn. They're going to get an Aegis again and Cheese, more than likely for Chessie. They can maybe just hold on to a Bronze-Skin attack, but no, it'll be Chessie grabbing it, dropping his Ring of Aquila, and it's great that they got that kill onto Swindle, but I don't know if it really matters that much, Purge.
Yeah, we'll see. 1437 in trouble a little bit, but he'll be okay. Is he going to be maxing out his Poison Touch? He maybe should just be going stats, but we know he really needs is an Aether Lens, I think. I don't know if he'll be able to farm it, but Aether Lens very good on Dazzle, especially if you're just out of position when heroes are in trouble.
Yeah, Aether Lens
they can definitely weave like this, I think. I don't think Wyvern needs to be there.
They're all going to come up, and the Assault Cuirass, is it done? It is. I don't know if it's going to be enough of a game-changing item.
I mean, that's 10 armor for his whole team. That's pretty big for what Complexity's dealing out. And with the Beastmaster dead, they need to just weave and get this over at 24 seconds.
Here comes the call down. Yuar's going to get hit up with it. He's going to pop up the Spirit Siphon. The Sprout will go. He has the Aegis. I don't know if Limp's that concerned about dying. There's going to be the arrow hitting up into Yuar, and Limp is just going to turn around, pop the Satanic, which I didn't even know he had. He's going to get sprouted again, but it's not going to matter. Like, they are not pushing this right now. They're going to have to back away. Yuar is just already super low. They have to back now.
He did an offensive weave there. I can't believe it. Like, 1437 is completely making the wrong choice here. Like, he could give his team a guaranteed 10 armor for, like, at least 14 seconds or something. Like, it's amazing. But he casted it offensively on the gyro as they were focusing him. That's not the right play. They would have kept pushing there if they didn't take, like, half of their HP on Acropolis by a couple Murano right clicks. Like, literally, weave your team and go high ground and do shit. They've got the damage. They just need to be able to stay alive, and that's the problem. They just keep dying to the Deso.
I mean, the armor reduction is nice. Do they have any other armor reduction on the Complexity side? They don't have an Assault Cuirass, not that I know of.
Yeah, like, they've got a Vlad's, they've got an AC, they could give their team, like, 20 armor for, like, a really long time, but all they have to do is weave first and then go high ground. Oh. Dazzle has literally done nothing this game. At the very least, a defensive weave would do so much on the heroes they have. The only thing they're lacking is survivability. That's it.
Well, now there's 13 armor reduction coming out with both Desolator and Assault Cuirass armor reduction war coming through as well. So now it's going to be a little harder, and I agree with you. The weave all should definitely now go on top of his team. He also has a medallion that he can use for his team on top of that. I understand what they're going for. They want to lower the armor of Limp, and they want to chew through him with the Exorcism, but it's not really working out. Now they're going to get pushed in. They do not have their Exorcism for 48. They're looking for Winter's Curse. They force forward and look for a Blink as well. They can't find it. The arrow will sail through. It will miss barely. I think it got to creep one of the Treants, but this should be almost Megas here as they will take down the tier 3. They still have the Aegis. They still have the Cheese. They do get a Refresher for AUI, so he's got 2 Winter's Curses. Maybe he can do enough to win this game for him. Limp is going to get entangled up. He's going to get healed through. There's going to be the BKB as well. Can they bring him down? He gets the rack. The Aegis will go. Snowball's a little bit too late to the party. The Roar comes out as well onto AUI. He needs to get both of his curses off, otherwise this is bad. Limp pops the BKB. Savage Roar. There's going to be the ultimate coming out. The Winter's Curse. It's not doing any damage as Chessie's the only one hitting him. They've got another one. They'll pop it away. And they're still not doing any work here. TC about to fall. Does he get by that? He does not. He will go down, and this might be the GG coming in from DC. There it is. Complexity absolutely outplaying DC 10 minutes past the game. And after that, oh boy, did they destroy.
That, honestly, I am not overstating this. The weave usage in that game was completely inadequate, and that was the only difference, in my opinion, for a couple of those fights being won or lost. Like last fight, do you know where he weaved? He weaved the gyro and a Murana illusion. That's it.
That's not good.
Weave your team, man. You've got a Death Prophet who is a tanky damage dealer. You've got a Lone Druid. You can weave the Lone Druid Bear, for God's sake. The bear doesn't even have to die. You could just weave your team and go fight him. What's